a partial shade garden, and we tried really hard to do a mixture of texture and color throughout with plants that are blooming throughout the season, like hydrangea and coral bells and runnera, which is the silvery textured leaf you see there. They bloom in the spring with little blue flowers. And we'll just pan out a little bit so you can get a sense of the whole look here and do so slowly. So we've got a lot of greens that are silvery with yellow touches of green and the pink dappled throughout. I've got a beautiful blooming quickfire hydrangea here, which is a pinnacle hydrangea lace cap variety. Hosta coming in through here, probably 10 different varieties of hosta dappled throughout. Lugularia is this plant here in the back with the purplish green leaf. That's a large leaf, and little yellow flowers will pop up throughout it towards the end of the summer. Then as we move forward, if we take a step back here and look at this plant here, that's needs to be shaped more, but this is a pagoda dogwood. It has a lot of little white flowers that come out at the beginning of the season, and it adds a really important structure on the corner here. So then as we move around the bend, we get into more sun, and you'll see that my gardening style is to fill to capacity. Not quite cottage garden, but certainly adding in lots of layers and texture here with, back in the corner, we have some purple phlox, some junipers with a row of summer crush hydrangea there. These are big leaf hydrangea. I do have luck with them blooming.
I'm gonna try and get back there.
And being in zone 5, we have to be thoughtful about that. So I do actually wrap them up like packages during the winter, and in burlap and leaves. And I've never had any issues with them blooming. Okay. We have purple liatris there. That's next to the corner here in the front with calamenta in front of it, like a little bit of airy whiteness there. You'll see that green leaf lifting out above, which is my peony. So this is what's called layering. Early in the spring, I had beautiful Susan Bernard peonies coming out there. The calamenta is now filled in for later in the season with the liatris for a pop of color, and then the orange lily behind it. So just trying to get blooms that are coming out throughout the season. You see a weigela right here, a variegated weigela with some pink blooms. For some reason, this weigela didn't bloom quite a bit for me, but I did give it a hard prune, probably too late in the season last year, but necessary, and the leaves and the texture of it are beautiful. So this is the front garden, and then as we pan to the other side of the front garden, you'll see, and one important thing to note about this side, this gets, a lot of sun exposure. This particular side of the front garden, so you'll see that I have plants here that are really targeted for sun, with my autumn joy sedum in the front, the serendipity allium, the salvia. More so than the other part of the front walkway here, as we pan back out, that has that heavy shade because the front of my garage is here. All of these plants right here, these are all targeted towards shade and partial shade, as an example. So then we just take a look at how it continues. And with how this continues, you know, I'm trying to create an inviting walkway with flowers. And right in the front, you'll see I have an arborescent hydrangea that actually will be moved this fall. It's a great size for this area, but I actually get a little bit, this is what I call learning, learning through trial and error, a little bit too much sun for this particular spot. Oh, thanks, Evan, for the narration. Okay, so a little bit too much sun for this spot, so I'll be moving him for next season. And then behind him, I have, you'll notice this really beautiful Black Susan vine. That's an annual that I just put up this little trellis here.
It's climbing up its stalks.
It is climbing up the stalks, and you know, I just love this, the contrast. You'll notice that I have a lot of pink and purple and yellow and orange for contrast throughout my garden. And I love this vine. It's very predictable. And here in Zone 5, it's an annual. I don't have to worry about it taking over my garden. It is for this season, but it'll clean up really nicely, and then I'll plant a new one for next season. And you'll see I've dappled in some heuchera that that perform really well with the dappled sun exposure here. I have some Disanthra, which is the ever-blooming fern, bleeding heart. They're one of my personal favorites. And some barberry here for different layers of color. Now let's just talk about what's going on with this bed. I have a lot of hosta in here, while some of my foundational plantings, the holly, I have some, you know, oh gosh, my mind is slipping me. Boxwood that's kind of coming into size here, you'll see. And so you'll notice that I like full plantings. So you'll, in Stilby, that's really starting to spread and fill in, almost like a ground cover right here. Hydrangeas speckled in between. That's a strawberry sundae hydrangea. I have a couple of lace cap varieties dotted in here or there.
Got a lightning bug.
Ooh, a lightning bug. Yeah, it's that time of day.
They're very slow.
Lady's mantle and heuchera sprinkled in here. Some petunias, supertunias to fill in the space. Because while these foundational kind of structural plantings are getting going between the evergreens and the boxwood and my pride and joy, my oak leaf hydrangea in the back, we'll take a look at that. It's a ruby slippers. I have filled in with quite a bit of hostas because they're reliable for filling in the size. As I need to create more breadth and more space.
There's a problem over there.
Okay, I'll work on that in a minute.
There's mold growing.
Okay, because we've had so much rain, right? As I need to create more breath, so see this particular boxwood is getting bigger, and I need to create a little bit more space between the yellow loosestrife, the variegated loosestrife, and the hosta behind it. I'll start removing some of the hostas and putting it along a borderline that I have because they're so easy and reliable from a transplant perspective, and they really in this space have been filling in for the time being. Then back here, you'll probably wonder, what is this big vine? It is a sweet autumn clematis, and it's just blooming all over with these small, tiny flowers. It's really beautiful this time of year, and we're enjoying it quite a bit. It is a vigorous vine, as you'll see here on my lilies that have finished blooming, and as it spills over to this little quickfire, we are kind of maintaining it. It does pull out very nicely, but I love the addition it makes to the garden. And then as I pan out, you'll kind of see how it curves around. Really, the focus here is depth with a lot of variety, a lot of different textures, but then that contrast of yellow tone, burgundy tone, blue toned items, right, that you'll see throughout, and then the pops of the pink and the purple colors, that while I have a tremendous amount of variety, so here's kind of that yellow tone, the yellow tone. Well, I have a tremendous variety of plants. The consistency of the colors expressed, right? And here we have the purple salvia. It's just finished blooming. I've cut it back with the hopes of a second bloom. Right here in August through September, the liamium, the crane's bill here. This is what creates the continuity in my garden, even though the actual variety, even with the variegation dappled throughout with the weigelia, the liamium, and these great simple hostas that are so reliable, is what creates that continuity. So thanks for taking a look. This is something that I will call a forever work in progress, and really proud of the continuous bloom cycle that I've created, even though, I've got some height issues, I've got some cleanup to occur here, but because it's so fully planted, I'm not weeding every day, and it does create a very interesting display as people come up my walkway, which is the welcome to my house here. So please comment, subscribe, share what you like the most. If you saw a particular plant that you really liked, ground cover you liked, etc. And thanks so much for taking a look.